Alright guys, what's up? So I'm going to talk about X-Men Dark Phoenix. This is not going to be a movie review. This is going to be me ranting about this movie because I just got out of it, literally just got home, and I have a lot to say about this movie. Was I expecting much from this film? I was hoping it was going to be a lot better than Last Stand, but upon my recent discoveries, Simon Kinberg, the man responsible for writing The Last Stand and writing Fantastic Four Stick, you know, that dump of a film, Fantastic Four, is also not only responsible for writing this film, but also directing it. So please someone help me understand why Marvel would allow someone who has a horrible track record, like Simon, who's already made 2 horrible Marvel films, come back and try to make a 3rd one. This film was ridiculous. It was an attempt at an X-Men movie. I don't even know if this is even considered an X-Men movie. This movie is pretty much just Jean Grey having a bunch of temper tantrums. Now, if you ask me who the villain of this movie is, I have literally no idea. I don't even know who Jessica Chastain is supposed to be playing. Now, I love X-Men. I've loved them since the 90s. I literally do not know who this villain is supposed to be. They said their name at some point. They look like fish people, I guess. I don't really know. You barely get to see them in their weird alien form. So, yeah. And they don't even say, like, what alien race they're from or when their planet exploded by the Phoenix Force, what their planet's even called. So, I literally have no idea who these villain people are. And they take human form, so they're like chameleons, I guess. I don't even know. All the X-Men we get in this film, who is in the team of X-Men, we get Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, and Mystique. And I guess you can count Beast, but he never wears the costume of like the, you know, yellow and blue costume, so not really consider him on the team per se. But we also do get Beast. We also obviously get Charles Xavier, we get Magneto, and we also get Dazzler randomly. Jubilee is nowhere to be found. I don't know why. She was awesome last time we saw her, so I don't know why we could not get Jubilee back, because she was cool. Also, the thing I don't understand is X-Men Apocalypse, the very last scene, we get them standing in like a team formation and literally all have awesome badass costumes. And in this movie, they're back in their yellow and blue costumes, which I'm fine with, but they're literally in those costumes for maybe 5 minutes of this film, and the rest of the time, literally everybody who has special powers is in basic street clothes. Are we watching just a random film with people who have powers, or are we watching an X-Men film? When I go to watch an X-Men film, I expect people to be in those X-Men costumes. I want villains in their X-Men costumes. I want everybody in their respective costumes. Even if you have to make it a little less cheesy than what they are in the comic books, give me something. Literally everybody working in the Brotherhood with Magneto is just in street level clothes. Like, nobody. Alright, so I had to look up if I could even remotely find who Jessica Chastain's character was. Her character's name is Vuk. Apparently they just grabbed a random ass Marvel character. In this case, it's a green tadpole looking, almost broccoli looking alien. He crash landed on Earth, very old alien. He literally has 0 of the powers that Jessica Chastain has in the movie. So pretty much they're just stretching at this point, I guess. They just like, let me grab a character from the 70s and just completely reimagine them. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know. They clearly have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Speaking of characters, we also get Selene, who's a part of the Dark Brotherhood. She's a Dark Queen, badass witch girl in the comic books. Her power set in the comic books is telepathy and telekinesis. In the movie, she is a very short-haired girl with tattoos who doesn't look like a badass goth queen. I'm not super mad about it, but it's just like, we could have had this badass looking goth chick, but whatever, random changes. Also, the guy with the long ass dreads that he's whipping people with, his name is Araki or something like that. I don't know. From what I could see on Google, he is not a Marvel character whatsoever. So why? Literally, you have the whole Brotherhood that you could take from. Everybody who works with Magneto. There are so many characters. Heck, I would have taken Blob or Toad. Like, literally, give me somebody we know. You give me some guy who whips people with his hair, and then they have the audacity to have this random hair whipping guy be able to take on Storm, excuse me, the Queen of Thunder, the goddess of everything elemental, the OP character of the X-Men, can get bested by a guy who whips his hair back and forth. I get it. Storm is young, but that does not matter. She can control ice, she can control hazardous winds, electricity, and she even does it in the movie. And you're telling me she gets bested. She doesn't get her butt whooped, but she gets bested at some point by Mr. Hair Whippy Boy. What? This is ridiculous. Let's talk about Cyclops for a second. He is literally a little puppy following around Jean Grey. He is not the leader of the group, or at least he doesn't act like it. He's just like, I thought you would always come back for me. He's just like a puppy. The actor is a good actor. I really liked him in Ready Player One, but the writing that they gave him, dialogue they gave him, everybody's dialogue actually in this movie was trash. Even Jean Grey. Like, we've all seen Sophie Turner in Game of Thrones. We clearly know she can act, but tell me why she gave some of the dumbest lines in this movie. Also, Jennifer Lawrence was literally reeling this performance in. She looks like she's completely done with this movie franchise. All the scenes she was in were not very good. And then she dies very abruptly, and it's not very effective. Also, we get my homeboy Evan Peters playing Quicksilver, and we literally get 2 scenes of him. We get this pretty mediocre quick scene of him unbuckling a bunch of astronauts' belts, and then we get 1 scene of him attempting to fight Jean Grey when she has her Phoenix Force, but then he slips because apparently she's super fast, so she realized what he was doing, and then he gets thrown away, and then he literally gets knocked out, and that's pretty much it for the rest of the movie. And then at the very end, you see him pop up at the mansion. So you're telling me his 1 knockout, he just decides to, just call it quits during the whole movie? Every other scene in this movie, he's just like, I'm good. I'm just not gonna, be a part of this team anymore. Also, Beast. Tell me why he keeps on transforming back to human. The Beast I know from the 90s cartoon, from Wolverine and the X-Men, from the comic books, even the older movies, he never transforms back to human. So tell me why do we have to keep on seeing him turn back to human? He is not a shapeshifter. Homeboy stays blue all the time. So why does he keep on changing? Like, Nicholas Hoult, we get it. We know you're under that makeup. Don't sign up for this role if you really need to see your face all the time on screen. We know who you are. It's just stupid. James McAvoy obviously does an amazing job as Xavier because it's James McAvoy and he's awesome. Michael Fassbender as well does a good job as Magneto. Not as good as he normally does just because, again, the writing is not very good in this movie. But yeah, we got Halston Sage as Dazzler, and she's literally just dancing around a campfire, shooting her things off, and that's it. That's all we get of her. So, weird choice why they would pick a more known actress to play Dazzler when she's literally barely seen in this movie. Let's talk about the action scenes in this movie because it's an X-Men movie, so it should have action. The beginning, we have some space action, I guess, but it's nothing really engaging. We get some Phoenix Force, her beating up her fellow comrades, but it's nothing really too amazing or great. She obviously makes easy work of everybody, but yet again, it's just her team trying to nullify her and not hurt her, so it's not really, interesting, because I want to see the X-Men, whoop some butt, and it's literally them being like, oh no, we must save her, which I understand, but it's just cool, whatever. And then the very final scene train happens. It's pretty much like protect the bunker type of fight. It's like, we get Cyclops protecting Jean Grey with his blasters, and it's not really engaging. It's more him just going, pew, 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 pew. He's kind of keeping the aliens at bay while they're trying to climb in the thing. And then, we get a kind of cool scene with Nightcrawler because one of the soldiers gets killed that he was trying to save, so he, snaps and, has this really badass scene. Probably one of the only cool scenes from him in the movie. But it's kind of short-lived because he tries taking on Volk or whatever, and he just kind of gets his butt whooped because she just has this weird, stupid nullify power. Oh yeah, I forgot. She takes a little bit of the Phoenix Force from Jean, but not all of it because she can't control it. Yeah. But yeah, so we get Magneto pointing the guns at Vuk and shooting her in the face. It's an okay scene, but for whatever reason, Magneto thought that would stop her, and then after the guns run out, he just kind of gets and it's really? You're still surrounded by metal. Why'd you not try to, stab her and, do other cool things? You're literally Magneto. You can do a lot more than that, but whatever. Apparently they want to make him weaker in this film. Who knows? We also have a very quick fight scene where Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Xavier, and Storm take on Magneto, Beast, Selene, and Araki, or whatever, the whip hair guy. And it's just awkward because, Cyclops is kind of shooting at Beast, but you can clearly tell he doesn't want to hurt him. Then you get, what I said earlier, where Storm gets bested by Hairboy, and then Xavier and Selene kind of having a mind battle off while trying to protect Nightcrawler because he keeps on getting sucked back and forth. So it's kind of like a tug of war of mind bendingness. I don't know. It wasn't very cool. It was kind of stupid. But yeah, that's pretty much the action. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, my bad. Just a lot of movies that don't know how to handle villains. The end fight scene is literally Jean pretty much grabbing a hold of Vuk and just kind of like, oh, you want my power? Well, take it. And then she's pretty much just holding on to her and giving her her power. Then she's like, oh, well, if you do that, you're going to kill everybody around you. She's like, okay, cool, peace. And then, like, they fly up in the sky, blow up, and kills her. And Jean Grey turns into a phoenix. Yep, that's it. I'm just tired of these, like, really bad, non-fighting villain fights. It's like you have a main villain, even though it's not very strong or a cool villain, but there's not even, like, a fight. Like, we clearly see her do, like, you know, jumps and a bunch of, like, crazy, like, you know, clearly you can tell she's powerful to some extent in this movie. So I would have loved to see a back and forth, you know, fight between Jean Grey using her, you know, telekinesis or anything to that magnitude. Jean Grey earlier, before she fights Vuk, dusts a bunch of her, like, henchmen or, like, teammates, I guess, you know, like Thanos style, and that was fast and not really cool. But there's just no battle between her and the main villain, and it's just kind of, like, lame. And yeah, pretty much the whole movie is just them trying to chase after Jean Grey, and it's just not very entertaining. The writing's horrible, the pacing's bad, it just felt really just slapped together. I haven't been so disappointed in an X-Men movie since I watched Wolverine Origins or The Last Stand. I kind of think The Last Stand is a little bit better, and that's really bad to say that because The Last Stand is not very good at all. Please never let Simon ever touch another X-Men film, like, ever again, please. But yeah, and don't make an X-Men film if you're not going to put my boys in their costumes. I am tired of seeing these superhero movies where they just get lazy and they don't put our superheroes in costumes. That's kind of the whole point of them, is to put them in costumes. I want to see them look cool. And even when they're at the mansion, all the kids who have the special powers, none of them look different. They all human looking. There's, I think, one kid who has, like, weird eyes and, like, kind of like veins going up his neck or something. But other than that, there's no, you know, different looking children. There's no, like, blue colored kids or red colored kids or, like, alien looking kids or, you know, kids with spikes coming out of their thing. There's none of that. Like, what is this, just a school for kids who are normal? I can literally grab an X-Men comic off my shelf right now and show you a bunch of little mutants that look different and unique. You can't tell me they didn't have a budget for this, that they couldn't have easily just made a few little adjustments here and there to make the kids look very unique. As you can tell, I don't like this movie. Yeah, it's very poor. They should never touch this movie franchise again. If anyone does make another X-Men movie, I really hope it's the Russo brothers or somebody who has never touched an X-Men movie. I know the X-Men can be done very well. It's not that hard. Also, when you guys do bring Wolverine back, please pick a good actor who can do the role justice. Alright guys, I'm done ranting about this movie. Yeah, I don't like it. I'll just throw out a rating. I know it wasn't really a review. Me just trashing on this movie. But X-Men Dark Phoenix gets a 4 out of 10. If you guys like this rant review thing, hit the thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.